Is there going to be a special Bryce Harper corner, or does everybody just go from the winter meetings to his house? Is there a shuttle? I mean, what's the setup here in Vegas?
Yeah, you might have heard the rumor that Bryce lives in Vegas, where the winter meetings are in his town. In the year that he's a free agent, you just can't make this stuff up. I would say it's safe to assume that Scott Boras has been collecting every bell and every whistle that could be collected, and the Bryce Harper storylines will be swirling. Whether he signs at the winter meetings is a whole nother story, but we'll be talking about him nonstop.
Well, I had him on the show a couple weeks ago, Scott Boras, and I asked him if he's going to wait for Machado to go first. He says those are two totally unrelated issues. Do you believe that?
No, they're not. One is going to set the market for the other. Scott has this ability to create a bidding war in which the war is not necessarily team versus team, but teams bidding against this mythical record that he believes Bryce needs to set. Bryce needs to be the highest paid player in the game, either measured against the highest dollars per year or the biggest total contract, the Giancarlo Stanton deal, or ideally in Scott's world, both. And even if there's only one team in the bidding, I'm convinced that Scott will find a way to have that team bid against that dynamic. But the other side of the coin is Dan Lozano thinks the same stuff about Manny. And so, of course, they're linked.
But, I mean, so what do you think the market is for both? Let's start with Bryce Harper, because we're hearing that Magic Johnson's flying out with the Dodgers contingent to go hang out in Vegas.
That was the Yahoo Sports report the other day that the Dodgers shot down, that Magic even personally shot down. And I would not count out the Dodgers. You can't, right? But I've also had people inside the Dodgers tell me within the last calendar year or so, we are out of the 10-year, 9-figure contract business. Well, they're not going to get Bryce Harper without signing him for at least 10 years and at least 9 figures. That's safe to say, right? So we'll see about that part of it. The Dodgers have played it very coyly, but it's such a perfect fit. It's certainly something to watch.
Okay, so how many teams do you think are in on Bryce Harper right now?
Well, again, that Yahoo Sports report by Jeff Passan and Tim Brown said upward of a dozen teams. As I've called around, asked about that since, I would take the under on that. I think it's really a much tighter circle. I think the Phillies are clearly in it. The White Sox are clearly in it. The Nationals are lurking, but it's more challenging for them now after the Patrick Corbin deal. And then the Yankees are clearly monitoring this. I don't think they're bidding, but they
don't need him. They don't need him, Jayson. They don't need him. I mean, you've got in your outfield, obviously you've already got that $300 million player, right, or whatever else is left on Stanton's contract. Judge is a generational talent that the whole fan base is head over heels in love with. You're not putting him in center field. I mean, on that front too, I don't think they need Machado either. I don't care that Didi Gregorius might not play next year. I mean, how many people come back from Tommy John surgery and throw 100 miles an hour? I mean, I'm serious. Get through the season. Yeah. You don't need to commit $300 million to Manny Machado if you're the Yankees, but I guess they will, maybe.
The two of them, I'm with you. I think Manny is actually the better fit. There are a lot of parallels here to Aaron Boone gets hurt playing basketball, and next thing you know, Alex Rodriguez is a Yankee. You could concoct that storyline, and Manny has communicated to the Yankees, from what I've heard, that he would like to be a Yankee. And they're clearly monitoring this. Are they going to pay him $300 million? I don't see that. It depends, I think, how badly he wants to be a Yankee. But the fact that he could start out playing short and when Didi comes back could slide over to third makes him really an ideal fit for them in terms of just the baseball part of it. The rest of it is a whole other story.
So what do you think happens with these two guys when it's all said and done, if you read a crystal ball, Jayson, right now?
We're all just guessing. This market is really just getting going for both of them. If I were going to guess, I predict Harper to the Phillies, Machado to the Yankees. But first off, I'm never right.
Nice.
Second, anything is possible. This really, we're just in the early stages of this, believe it or not, 5 weeks in the free agency.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.